All right, today we're going into 3.1c, adding imperial units. Now, adding imperial units is going to be different than adding or converting with metric units, just because it's not nice powers of 10 numbers. So your denominators aren't things like 10, 100, 1,000, where you just really need to move your decimal. It's easy, quick math to do. It's more like dealing with time, so dealing with time from last unit. So when we were dealing with time, if I have 30 minutes and I want to change that into hours, I would have to divide by how many minutes there are in an hour. And it's not a nice number like 100 where I could just move my decimal place over 2 times and get like 0.3. Nope, there are 60 minutes in an hour. So I have to do 30 divided by 60 and I get 0.5 or half of an hour. So 30 minutes is half an hour. Same thing with dealing with imperial units. It's not going to be a nice number like 10 or 100 or 1,000 where I can just move the decimal. So if I have 6 inches and I want to turn that into feet, I have to divide by how many inches there are in a foot, which is 12, so not a nice number like 10. So 12 inches in a foot, 6 divided by 12, I would once again get 0.5 hours, feet, get out of here. 0.5 feet or half of a foot. Same thing if I have, for example, 9 inches, divide that by 12 because I have 12 inches in a foot and I would get 0.75 of a foot or 3/4 of a foot. Now, I'm not going to be extremely picky about making sure you're using fractions. Now, when you're working in the trades, you're going to see fractions more often than not, or carpentry, if you're doing stuff in the wood shop, taking shop this semester, you will see fractions more often than you will probably see decimals when you're dealing with imperial units, but I'm not going to be incredibly picky. All right, so back to adding these things. So why we have to know how to convert is because I'm going to be asking you to tell me how many, for example, feet and inches there are in something. So for this first example, I want to find out how much pipe I need to buy. So I'm doing a bathroom renovation and I need to go buy some pipe. Who cares? I don't know. I need a piece that is 2 feet long, a piece that's 5 feet 4 inches long. Remember, 1 apostrophe is a foot, 2 apostrophes is an inch, and another piece that's 7 feet 2 inches long. And how much pipe do I need? So the best way to do this when you're adding a bunch of different imperial pieces together is to add your feet separately and add your inches separately, and then we go from there. So one piece that's 2 feet long, another piece that's 5 feet 4 inches long, and another piece that's 7 feet 2 inches long. So adding inches separately and feet separately. So inches, I get 4 plus 2, 6 inches. Feet, I get 7 plus another 7, 14 feet. Now, I don't tell you specifically how I want your answer in this one, so you could have it just in feet and inches, so exactly as we figured out, so 14 feet, 6 inches. You could also write it with your units out, 14 feet, 6 inches. You could turn it all directly into feet. I'm not specific with how much pipe do I need. So you could say 6 inches, we know from our previous example, is 14.5. So it's half of a foot. So I could say this is 14.5 feet or 14.5 feet like this. You're probably not going to put it into inches though. So if you're going to go buy pipe from a store, you have to think of the context. You're not going to go in there and say, hey, I need 174 inches of pipe. That's not going to be something you're normally going to do. You would probably have it in feet. So I would need 14.5 feet of pipe. Next. So for this one, I am specific. So I don't want it in feet. I want it in feet and inches. So not 14.5. I would want feet and inches to both be clear in my answer. So the easiest way to do that is to, okay, well, how many full feet do I have in 51 inches? there are several ways to calculate that. The first way is just start adding them up. Okay, so if I have 12 inches, I know that is 1 foot. 2 feet would be 24 inches. 3 feet would be 36 inches. 4 feet would be 48 inches. And I'm not going to be able to add another 12 inches because then I'm going to go over. So I know that I have 4 full feet. So I have 4 full feet. And how many inches are left over then? So if 4 feet got me to 48 inches, I can take my 51 inches I had in total minus 48. That makes up my 4 feet. And I see that I have 3 inches left over from that. Okay, so my answer would be 51 inches is actually 4 feet, 3 inches if I have it in feet and inches. Now, sometimes that's not going to be a good way to do this. So if you're stuck, this is always a surefire way to, oh yeah, okay, this is how many feet there's going to be in that many inches. But if you have, for example, hundreds of feet, this would not be a fun method to do because you have to go on hundreds of times. So how many times will 12 go into these numbers? Well, in order to figure out how many times, I could just divide by 12. So let's do that for this one, 62 inches. Let's divide by 12 and see how many full feet we get. So if I do 62 divided by 12, use my calculator, 62 divided by 12, I get 5.16666 repeating. So on and so forth. Now, what this number means is I have 5 full feet and then a fraction of a foot. So I have 5 full feet. Starting getting my answer ready. And now we need to figure out, well, how many inches are left over. So if I do 5 times 12 to see how many inches I actually have there, I get 60. So I have 5 feet is exactly 60 inches. And if I take a look here, I have 62 inches. If I subtract that 60, I see that I have 2 inches left over. Now, you don't really have to show this step on your work. I am just writing it out to be very clear here what I am doing. So 62 minus 60, I get 2 inches. So I have 5 full feet and 2 inches left over. Now, there is a question on your assignment where I ask you to turn it into yards and inches. So that would be a little bit different. So I'd have to figure out how many yards there would be in, for example, 62 inches. So this isn't a question that you have here on your notes, but let's actually figure that out anyway, so you know what to do. So let's say I wanted to turn 62 inches into yards and inches. So I want to know what that is. Well, instead of dividing by 12, I would divide 62 by however many inches there is in a yard. So I have 62 inches and there are 36 inches in a yard. Now, doing that calculation, I get 1.7222 repeating. So it just goes in there one full time, which you might have been able to do just in your head without having to use your calculator. Okay, so I have 1 full yard and there will be a fraction of a yard. So if I just do 62 minus 36, I get 26 inches. So this would be, for an answer, 1 yard and 26 inches. Normally, you probably wouldn't do something like that. You'd say, well, it's 1 yard, and then there's actually 2 feet in there, and then an extra 2 inches. So that would be, if I asked you to turn it into yards, feet, and inches, which I don't think I asked you to do on your assignment. But that's how you would do it anyways. Now, moving on, convert the following to feet and inches. So I have 4 feet, 35 inches, and I want it in feet and inches. And you're thinking, well, it's already in feet and inches, Hardy. What are you talking about? Well, if I take a look here, just like how that 26 inches is actually it's more than a foot. Same thing with this 35 inches. So 4 feet, 35 inches, I need to turn that 35 inches into feet and inches. So turning that 35 inches into feet and inches, I could do 35 divided by 12, see my number, or I could sneak back up here. Well, it's going to be more than 1 foot, it's more than 2 feet, but it is not quite 3 feet. So 3 feet would be 36 inches, and it is 1 inch short. So I know that this is actually going to be 2 feet and 11 inches left over, because it's that 1 inch short of that 36. So 2 feet and 11 inches, and I have that 4 feet from before. So I take my 4 feet, add it to my 2 feet. Altogether, 4 feet 35 inches is going to be 6 feet and 11 inches. And now we are in feet and inches. This is our answer. 2 feet, 56 inches. Oh, it's in feet and inches, but hey, look at that. That is more than a foot. Come on, this is just messy. You would never go into a store and say, I need something that's 2 feet, 56 inches long. Come on. Okay, so turning that 56 inches into feet and inches. Now, 56 divided by 12. Let's see what we get. And it is 4.6, so I have 4 full feet. So I know this will be 4 feet, and then figuring out my remaining inches. So if I do 4 by 12, I can see that I have 48 inches. So 48 inches, I have 56 inches in total. So 56 minus those 48, that was those 4 feet. And we get, oh, hey, 8 inches. Sorry for that ugly 8. So 4 feet, 8 inches, and we have that 2 feet from before. So add that 2 feet and 4 feet, I get 6 feet, 8 inches. All right, so now that would make sense going into a store and saying that 6 feet, 8 inches makes more sense than 2 feet, 56 inches. Nobody wants to do the extra math. Just tell me what you want. Okay, next. We are trying to calculate how much baseboard we will need for the room that is shown below. What is the minimum amount of baseboards that we will need? Or for this question, Mary. So Mary, how much baseboard do you need? Well, what is baseboard? Now baseboard, it goes along the edges of your walls. So basically what we need to find here is the perimeter. Here we have a door. You do not put baseboard around a door. So we need to add this 9 inches, whatever this wall is. If I take a look here, I can see that this wall is 27 inches. Who's making this 27 inches? There's feet and inches in there. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. We'll need to know what those unknown walls are. This 9 inches, this 9 inches will need baseboard, but this door of 2 feet 6 inches does not. So let's take a look here. In order to figure out how much baseboard, I need to know the whole perimeter. So we already figured out that this wall is 27 inches. Now this is going to be the same as that one, so 24 inches there. And now this wall, and this wall. Well, if I take a look over here, I know that this part of the room is 9 feet 2 inches wide. So if I take a look, this line plus this line plus this line is going to be the same length as this 9 feet 2 inches. So that's those. And let's take a look. It looks like we have all of our walls lengths labeled. So we can start adding up. And then same thing, we're going to add our feet together and our inches together. Scrolling down. And just pick somewhere to start so you just go along the whole way. So let's start here and go this way. So first we have our 9 inches and 27 inches. Ugh. Then 5 feet 2 inches. Then 27 inches. Hawaii, 6 feet 6 inches. Nine feet 2 inches. This long one of 15 feet 8 inches. Then we have these 3 sections, which is 9 feet 2 inches. Then a 24 inch, a 24 inch for there. And lastly, that last 9 inch. Okay. And we're going to add up all of our inches and then add up all of our feet. And then as you can see, or probably tell, some of these are already too many inches to be in a foot. We're going to change that inches number into feet so we know how much baseboard we need in feet and inches. So grab your calculators out, pause this video, and take a quick calculation. Done? Did you get 140 inches? Yes, good. And 44 feet. Watch out when you're doing this. My writing is hideous. My hands are really cold and my fingernails are blue, which is one of the reasons why it's so messy. But this kind of looks like 441. If you are one of those people that kind of tend to make this a lot lower than what it should be, maybe write actually feet and inches in there just to keep yourself from thinking that those are ones. Just a thought. Okay, so 44 feet, 140 inches. If you go to the store like that, they're going to tell you to get lost. So we are going to turn that 140 inches into feet and inches. So 140 divided by 12, we get 11.6 repeating. So I know that I have 11 full feet there. Okay, so I have 44 feet from adding my feet up, plus another 11 feet. And then how many inches will be left over? So if I quickly do my 11 feet that I have here times 12, I get 132. I have 140, so how much inches do I have left over? Well, I can see there will be 8. So 44 plus 11, 55 feet and 8 inches of baseboard, at least. So we would probably get more if we were doing this in real life. But since it is a math question and we are not actually going to store to buy this, 55 feet, 8 inches is what we would need. All right, your assignment is a 2-pager. It's kind of long. So one side, 2 side of adding imperial units just to make you hate them and appreciate the SI system more. Okay? All right.